All right, boys.
Good morning and welcome to College Football Now. Today, Nick and I will be outlining who we think are the strongest college football contenders this season.
First, let's start off with the massive rivalry week that had huge playoff implications. Michigan over Ohio State for the first time in a decade, eliminating OSU from playoff contention.
Yeah, as a Michigan fan, that was absolutely amazing to watch. They were led by Hassan Haskins, who balled out with 5 touchdowns and over 200 scrimmage yards on the day, as well as led by star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, who had 3 sacks on the day, putting himself firmly in Heisman conversations.
Hutchinson also broke the Michigan single-season record for Michigan with 13 sacks on the season.
Another big game from last week was Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma. It was another classic Bedlam performance with great offense on both sides. Oklahoma State was barely able to beat Oklahoma in the last seconds of the game.
Now on to the Iron Bowl, where Auburn almost beat Alabama. They were winning the entire game until Bama scored with just 20 seconds left to go into overtime. They went into 4 overtimes, and Auburn lost on a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it was an absolutely crushing loss for Auburn, who's playing on their home field with a backup quarterback, trying to get a statement win to end their season against their rival team. They were not able to pull it out.
Georgia with also another great win against Georgia Tech, just another dominant performance by the best team in the country right now.
Yeah, a surprising performance in that game with Stetson Bennett throwing 4 touchdowns on the day, the first time he had done that all season long.
Cincinnati gets a convincing win over East Carolina.
And Notre Dame crushed Stanford to put themselves firmly in the college football playoff conversation.
And now with the playoffs, let's come down to the championship week where Michigan faces a tough matchup against Iowa for a Big Ten championship.
Yeah, Michigan hands down looked like the best team in the country last week, crushing a red-hot Ohio State team. The only concern for me, though, is Michigan's passing offense, as Iowa looked to shut down their dominant run attack, which has been their go-to all season long. Iowa also has a top 15 rush defense to go against them.
Michigan quarterback McNamara hasn't done much this year, as Harbaugh has planned a great running offense this year, and Iowa has the 3rd highest turnover rate in the country as they look to pressure quarterback McNamara into making big-time mistakes.
Biggest matchup of the college football season so far will be Georgia versus Alabama in the SEC championship game. Bama, if they were to lose, will be out for the 2nd time in the last 3 years, which is absolutely unheard of for the program. And Bama has looked shaky recently, so it is definitely possible to say that they could lose this game.
Yeah, barely beating Arkansas in week 2 and getting past Auburn last week in the very last seconds of the game. I don't know how that's going to play out, but hopefully it goes well for them.
The only concern for Georgia is a QB play, as they split time between starting QBs in Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels, something that's really uncommon for a top program.
The only concern with Georgia is as a top team in the country, should have one solid QB is not to lead the team. With a great team like that, you're going to play these good teams. You need to have one quarterback that can really lead the team to a win.
Oklahoma State is one of the only teams that does not control its own destiny. It'll be banking on a Bama loss in the SEC championship game, as well as getting past Baylor in the Big 12 championship game in order to put themselves in the college football playoff race.
5th-ranked Oklahoma State was previously beat by Baylor. Will look to turn the script around and get their name to the college football playoff pool.
Another team that needs everything to go to their way on Saturday will be Notre Dame.
Notre Dame needs a lot to go right this week, as they need Oklahoma State, Alabama, and Michigan to possibly lose. And also they don't have a championship game, so they really need these losses to get in.
Yeah, it makes you think maybe if they were in a conference, they had a better shot at making the college football playoffs. So maybe that'll be something they'll be looking into in the near future.
I'm very excited for this week, college football, because I've always wanted to see a non-Power 5 team make the college football playoffs, and Cincinnati looks to be that team this year.
Yeah, they're undefeated so far in the season with a convincing win over top 10 Notre Dame. So that concern of not having a good strength of schedule is thrown out the window. And they'll also be facing a red-hot Houston team, which is top 20 ranked in the AAC championship game. So if they're to win, they'll be firmly putting themselves in the college football playoff race.
Now let's go on to what our playoffs that we think they're going to be. Will, what you got?
All right, at the 1 spot, I got Georgia beating Bama in the SEC chip and getting themselves the 1st seed. I have Michigan winning the Big Ten chip, getting the 2 seed. Cincinnati over Houston, the AAC championship, getting the 3rd seed. In Oklahoma State, with Alabama being kicked out by Georgia, beating Baylor, and getting themselves in the 4th seed.
My college football playoff is number 1 ranked Michigan, 2 Cincinnati, 3 Oklahoma State, and 4th Alabama. And I think Bama is going to win the SEC chip this year.
Thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.